Hello, everybody. They wait until I start, and then they start making noises. Darn kitty cats. Hello, Nana Laura. Welcome back. Hello, Linda Applegate. Yes, the chat's the best part. For everybody that ever complains about are you streaming court channels, or are you more focused on the chat? There's been a couple of comments about it, and I'm just like, read the description. It says that this is a chat orientated channel. Earl, must you? At this moment, at this exact moment, must you? Clearly he must. Hello, C-Rex. Hello, Rocky Lennon. Did you see I did your favorite judge? Was it not last night, but the night before? I did Judge Babcock, the one that you introduced me to. Hello, Shane. Hello, Donald Westerdale. Ahoy, matey. Welcome back. And thank you for the number 7 on the like. Hello, Chinny. Hello, Mortimer Duke. Hello, She's a Maker. Hello, Eileen Carlan. Good job, you. I kind of am. I go to meetings. No. They're called vet appointments. Yeah, she's here for the treats. She's here for the treats. She got a busy bone earlier. So let's go with calm down, baby. Clearly, there is no such thing when treats are involved. I can't make it go any faster. You're just going to have to be patient. Her Blue Buffalo health bars. There is no patience. Here you go, baby. At least she's gentle about it this time. And then we'll go with some Golden Rewards sweet potato wrapped with chicken. She loves these things. And I like that they're, I like to think they might be healthy. Maybe. Oh, this one's a twofer. You get a twofer right there. I tried breaking it apart. It wouldn't come apart. All right. So it's still exporting. And so how it went down. Hi. You're like my sidekick, my co-host. I need to get you a microphone. We all know everybody's here for Ava. I'm just a bonus. So everybody was asking me earlier to find the case where Judge Webster and Jill get into it. And I knew I had that docket day. Unfortunately, YouTube did what YouTube does, and it cut that docket off. So I reached out to Lone Wolf Saul, who's an amazing friend of the channel, and he happened to have the clip for me, and he gave it to me. So I was able to still show you guys. So I do have that, thanks to Lone Wolf. And yeah. Then in the process of trying to find the clip, though, I happen to recognize a particular face. And it's a face we all know, Mr. Ziner. I have an FTC playlist for Mr. Ziner and his traffic troubles in Elk County. Clearly, they have boiled over to Butler County or Greenwood. I'm sorry, we're in Greenwood with Judge Webster. So, I need Billy actually threw my Judge Webster glasses on the floor. So I'm gonna have to get those. Yeah. So anyways, I saw Mr. Ziner and I'm like, okay, I'll just put Mr. Ziner's case on. In the process of that, oh my goodness. Normally I would hopscotch these dockets and I would clip them and put all of the cases side by side so that we could just watch it straight through and see each case as a whole. I didn't do that because you can't imagine the absolute bullfuggery that went on without just seeing it organically. So clearly for the Replay Crew minis, I will be chopping it up and putting them all together. But like the chaos in the courtroom today, well, not today. This would have been a couple days ago. But the absolute just how Judge Webster kept her mind that day, I will never know. And there's a lot of tension and a lot of irritation aimed at the prosecutor's office. So poor JRegier, he got it a couple times. And there's a particularly snappy lawyer that just happens to look like a supervillain. He does. He just happens to look like one. I love it. It was so much fun. So what I did, I edited the first like 45 minutes of it, and then I ran out of time. So I just went through and I just got all the time gaps. Didn't even watch them. I'm like, you know what? The first hour of this is nothing but gold. So I'm just going to take all the time gaps out. We'll watch it until I'm too tired. That's what we're going to do. We're going to watch it until April's falling asleep at her desk. We all know when that happens. Hello, Joey Bag of Donuts. Good to see you, honey. Whoa. Hello, Mortimer Duke. Thank you. That's amazing of you. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I might be their co-host. Oh my gosh. So I have a friend. He is that was not a request for you. I mean, okay, yeah, kind of was. But I have a friend who is extremely inclined with construction type things, I guess is the only way that I can say it. Carpentry type work. And I had mentioned to him that I really wanted to do like shelves. Like I would move my flag and of course it would still be up. I don't know if it would be visible or not, but it's still going to be in my room. But I would move it, and then I want to put shelves and stairs and kitty, spots. I want them to be able to freely walk around the walls. And what's the point of all this vertical space if I'm not using it? And he goes, "Gonna paint, right?" I'm like, "But that would take more time." He goes, "Yeah, but this is like a weekend project, right?" I'm like, "If you want it to be." So he is thinking of helping me redecorate the whole room. We would paint, and then he would put up the kitty walking shelves, because I want more area for them to be able to interact and, you know, hop along the walls. Maybe get Billy some exercise a little bit. He kind of needs it. Diet's going well, just he's not happy about it. He doesn't really get much of a choice, but he's not happy about it. Hello, Spider-Man. So hopefully that's a thing. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I really, really, really hope he comes through on this. I have no doubts that he will, but, you know, now it's in my head. That I'm going to have kitty walking shelves, and they'll have their little ramp to run around the ceiling and stuff like that. I'm just so excited. Yeah. Oh, you'll probably hear him a lot tonight. Oh, she is. She's been the star of the show since the show started. Everybody loves Ava. The case where Judge Webster and Jill get into it. It's a hot one. It's a hot mess. Hello, Crystal and Miriam. Good to see you. Yes, absolutely. And he's a stellar human, too. What? Dishonest John, na. What? Oh, clearly I missed something. Nope. Josh the Builder. They do. They're my babies. And Earl attacks Bandit. I've complained about it before. And Bandit really has trust issues. She lives under my bed. Will not come out unless I'm sitting here and protecting her. If she's eating, she's staring at Earl the whole time, waiting for him to come attack her. So I want to give vertical space to her for her to be able to come out. You know, I'm hoping that helps. Me first. Yeah. So do dogs. Trust me. Billy does drool, though. He really does. One of the pictures that I have of him, I believe it's actually one of the emojis that you guys have access to when you're a subscriber or a member. The full picture of it, he's got this long trail of drool. It's hilarious. When I cropped it, you can just barely see it, and I blended it a little bit, so it, it just looks like fur. But yeah, he drills big time. Oh, in protest of his diet, he threw up in my purse. He sat on my foot, and I heard the sounds, and I'm like, you are not. And I just nudged him at the last moment. Thank God, barely, and he hit it, but he did it on purpose. I know he did. And he keeps coming up on the desk, and he will look at me and just swat something off. Like this catnip ball. Yeah, it came off of the wall when I was shop vacuuming under the bed with my cleaning lady. Yeah, she lifted the mattress and I just kind of went like that with the hose. But yeah, so this came off the wall, had it on the desk. He walks up and he looks at me and he's just like, boink. Yep. Like, I swear, fat butt, he's in a mood. Oh. Okay. Okay. Wait, what? When what comes on? I missed something, sweetie. Oh, she is. Trust me, she's mine too. I feel completely whole when she comes up on the desk and she puts my she like it's kind of hard to see now, but it's been healing. My friends still all get a wild kick out of it, all the little cat punctures, but she sits on my desk and just does this very gently. Her nails don't say gentle, but she does. And I wrap my arms around her and I just feel whole. You know, it's like I'm hugging my mommy and my daddy all at the same time. I miss them, and that was their cat. And I remember going over to the house, and she'd be hiding upstairs all the time. She doesn't interact with people very much. So for her to be, right there in my arms, and that's her safe spot, for me, like, it gives me just such joy to know that I give her that comfort, and in return she gives me the comfort of remembering my parents and feeling like they're still a part of my life. Oh, Ava snores. Ava is the worst log sawer there is. Golly. Yeah, that was exactly Billy's tone. That was exactly what he said. How dare you restrict my caloric intake? My kitty Bridget likes to climb on my nightstand and knocks off my alarm clock and starts pawing at my water bottle, usually at 3 a.m. Yeah, Earl gets the most evil around 3 a.m. But Billy will jump up on the counter and deliberately knock over my coffee anytime he can. And the other day he knocked over my soda. And I knew the sound. I was, busy napping. And I heard the sound of the soda bottle or thermos hit the desk. And I'm like, oh, no. And I woke up, and sure enough, there was soda everywhere. Oh. And he was laying in it. And I'm like, you go lick yourself off. I have to clean this. Yeah. That would be a good time. Had by all, I tell ya. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. Yes. She'll eat you if you're not. It's true. That nobody talks about that, but it is absolutely 100% true. That if you're not, they will. Like, dogs have emotional bonds with their owners, and they will lay by their owner's side, and like dogs will actually starve to death waiting for their owner to come back alive, or they'll go find help. Not cats. Nope. If a cat finds their owner is deceased, they will eat. Mom! That's terrible. Hilarious, but terrible. I know. I can't believe she said that either. So, I know, Mom, this is not that kind of show. Yeah, maybe. I had to look it up. I didn't believe it at first, and then I was actually surprised. Yeah, it's true. It's true. They are survivalists. That's what it boils down to. They are survivalists, and they like to eat. And if they realize, oh, well, I may not have food for a while. Golly, what is into you guys? Clearly not the handyman. Oh. You and your Weird Al. I swear. We need to set up a super fan meet and greet with you and Weird Al, constantly singing his songs. So, I did not say that. I did not say that. Those words did not come out of my mouth. I know you do. It's very, very apparent. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love you so much. I did not. No, I said he's a good carpenter person. I said he's a good construction person. I never once said driller. Why would I say driller? Oh my God. You guys are going to get me in trouble. I did not. I did not. I refuse to believe it. Absolutely refuse to believe it. Nope. Mm-mm. Oh my gosh. Y'all are something. Y'all are something else. Okay. So, well, yeah, I did. I was trying to decipher that. Thank you for the clarification on it, because I was a little shocked. I couldn't figure that one out. if YouTube didn't have restrictions, I'd probably cuss like one. I do get in my moods. I really do. Yeah, sometimes I eat like, it'd be indecipherable from back on your ship days, I'm sure. So Judge Stasha Buchanan, she was live today. I don't know what she did, but I know she was live. I figured, because we're at 71.5%. Hi, Earl. How's it going, buds? So I thought, we could figure out what she did today. I'm sure it's arraignments, but maybe something cool happened. I have no idea. I haven't watched it yet. I just, it was on 11 hours ago. So maybe we should check that out. And then when Webster's done, we can see what happened. And in the meantime, I'm gonna find my Webster glasses that Billy deliberately knocked off my desk. Let's see here. He did it on purpose. I know he did. Hi, CE. I was just about to hit the button of no return where I couldn't have given you your wave. So you popped in at the exact right moment. Whoa! That was like a 6-foot jump. Like, you didn't even get a running start. He just leaped from his drinking fountain nightstand all the way to the top of the bookshelf in just one upward stroke. Just, you scare me sometimes. My goodness. Well, he is Lawyer Kitty. That's what he's always been known as, Lawyer Kitty. And now I have Tiny Kitten Esquire. She's been coming in the room a lot more. Y'all may see her a little bit. She has been coming into the room and causing havoc. If you knock my stuff down, let me tell you, buds. Earl, can you not? That bank is from my parents' house, and I would really appreciate it not being broken. Yeah. Oh, you're totally gonna knock that down, aren't you? Come on, Earl. Yeah, there you go. That's a good boy. Come on. Do I have to open them? You're gonna try leaping onto the desk, aren't you? You're so knocking something over. Okay. You got yourself up there. You can get yourself down. Oh, you're gonna go for it, aren't you? Here, let me clear out this off. I got my medical paperwork here. Hold up. Oh, he made it. All right, that deserves a treat. There you go. Good job. Thank you. Don't do it again. I really wish I had a pet cam that could have caught that. That was amazing. I'm not kidding you. 6 feet, just boom, straight up in the air. Wow. I don't know why my camera's all messed up now. Oh, there we go. There. I hate when it does that. It turns like everything red toned. All right. So now let's go to this and this.
Okay, Micah Shabazz. Jump right up to the table. Thank you. All right. Looks like I have an FTA warrant, a bond violation, and a fresh. So I guess I'll start with the fresh one. On the record in state of Michigan versus Micah Amir Khalil Shabazz. Appearance, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Jonathan Foreman, Office of Public Defender, here with Mr. Shabazz for the purpose of arraignment today.
Are you Micah Shabazz?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Shabazz, this is your arraignment. What I have here is a felony complaint. This alleges that on or about March 1st, 2025, in the 1000 block of South Homes in the city of Lansing, you did knowingly or intentionally possess methamphetamine. That is a felony punishable by 10 years and or $15,000. Do you understand the charge and the possible penalty?
Yes,
You have the right to have an attorney in this matter. If you can't afford one, we'll see if the public defender will represent you. You have the right to a trial. That could be by jury. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing will be used against you in court. You have the right to have an attorney present with you during any questioning by law enforcement. Do you understand your rights so far?
yes,
Would you like a public defender to assist you in this case?
Uh,
Did you say
yeah.
no? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Since you have a felony charge, you have the right to have a preliminary examination. That's a hearing where the government must bring some evidence to demonstrate probable cause to believe the felony occurred and probable cause to believe that you're the person who committed the felony. Before you go to preliminary exam, you have a probable cause conference. That's a day where you, your lawyer, and the prosecutor make sure you know all the evidence and information to be ready for preliminary exam. Probable cause conference will be March 13, 8:30 with Judge Flores. Preliminary exam will be March 20, 8:30 also with Judge Flores. That first hearing date might be done by video conferencing like we're doing now, but if you can't video conference or don't know how, you should come in person, don't miss your court date. The second date, March 20, that's absolutely in person, as evidence and testimony may be presented at that time.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chavez, are you on probation, parole, or bond in any court?
No, I'm paying off fines in Clinton County though right now.
Well, I have a bond violation here, so I'm gonna say yes, you're already on bond with Judge Flores for a domestic violence case.
How long ago was? I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't understand.
Yeah, okay. The address they wrote down for me here is on the North Waverly. Is that your current address?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, I'll write that down. What's a good phone number to reach you?
79. How long ago? I'm sorry.
We can talk about your bond violation in just a minute here. You're on bond for a case with Judge Flores that started, the offense was alleged to have occurred in 2022, but I think you didn't see Judge Flores until, well, it might have been 2022 when you first saw him. Let's see here. I see you were arraigned. Pretrial, failed to appear. Pretrial and bond violation. Pretrial again. Bond violation.
Naughty boy.
Pretrial held, scheduled for sentence. Bond violation dismissed in July of 2023. So you pled guilty to domestic violence in July of 2023. And then it looked like after that, there was some issues getting a sentencing done because you missed court sometimes. And so you're still on bond for that because you haven't been sentenced yet. All right. Mr. Foreman, I'm looking at Mr. Chavez's Michigan criminal history. It shows 2023 disorderly person. And then it has all dismissed. Some things with no disposition, which I think includes the thing with Judge Flores, because the sentence has not occurred. Yeah, that's really it. There's not a lot here, but we do have the issue of multiple failures to appear and the fact that I have 2 other files to speak to him about today on bond.
Understood, Your Honor, and thank you. Having spoken to Mr. Shabazz, I'll note that he does have a local Lansing address. He has local ties. He lives my information with his girlfriend and their 2 kids. He's not on, as he noted, he's not on probation or parole, though it does appear he is on bond. We would request a personal bond in this matter.
Ma'am, if I could,
Mr. Shabazz,
okay.
I'm taking into consideration that Mr. Shabazz has a Lansing address and apparently ties to the community. This is not an assaultive case. However, I'm also taking into consideration the fact that Mr. Shabazz is alleged to be on bond while this occurred and appears to have multiple failures to appear in his other file. In order to ensure his appearance at court, I do find that personal recognizance is not appropriate. Bond will be set at $2,000, 10%. Subject to the following conditions. Mr. Shabazz, of course, you must attend your court dates. That's first primary. You have to attend court. That is a lot of your legal issues come from not being in court. I gave you March 13 and March 20. You should have those in writing. Do not leave the state without permission. Do not commit any crimes while on bond. Notify the court in writing if you change your address or telephone number. It is important that you understand it's a bond condition to keep us up to date on your address and phone number so that you actually receive court notices. If we have to change a court date or something, you should be able to receive that if you're giving us a good address. You are required to report to pretrial services the first business day after your release. You should receive a brochure from the jail that has a phone number and an address on it. You can either call them or go there in person, make a report, and then report as often as they require. Do not use alcohol, marijuana, or illegal controlled substances while on bond. Do not possess or purchase a firearm or a dangerous weapon. You are not allowed to have any weapons while you're on bond. If you have any of those things, you need to give them to someone else for safekeeping or give them to the police. But you are not allowed to have weapons while on bond. Do you understand
Yes,
your
ma'am.
bond, sir? Okay, good.
She said my bond is,
Well, that's for the first file, 2,000, 10%, but we have 2 more files to talk about here, so hold on one second. The next one is the PA 53. Just want to scroll up and see what the most recent bond was on this file. Now, one of the issues is they didn't have a good address for you. 2,000 PR maybe. Okay. This is on the record in State of Michigan versus Micah Shabazz 2200977 SM. Mr. Foreman.
oh, thank you, Your Honor. Jonathan Foreman, Office of Public Defender, here with Mr. Shabazz for purpose of arraignment.
All right. And to be clear, he already has Ms. Schroeder on this case, right?
That's what it appears, yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Shabazz, in this case, it's alleged that you violated conditions of your release. It is alleged that you were given bond conditions back on October 13 of 2023 in this domestic violence case, and that you remain on bond. One of the conditions of your release was do not use alcohol, marijuana, or illegal controlled substances. It is alleged that you violated that condition when you were found to be in possession of methamphetamine. If you violated the conditions of your bond, you face a potential of up to 93 days in jail and or $7,500 in fines for contempt of court. For contempt of court, you have the right to have a trial, not by a jury, just by a judge. However, at that trial, it would have to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt that you did violate the conditions of your bond. You have the right to have an attorney, which you already have one from the public defender's office, so I'm sure your public defender is gonna help you handle your bond violation. I don't have a court date for the bond violation. It will be set by the clerks when they get to work tomorrow. Mr. Foreman, on bond for the bond violation.
We've just asked that it be set for hearing, as Your Honor already has. I'll note that in my review of Ms. Schroeder's notes in this file, it looks like Mr. Shabazz might have been in custody during one or multiple of those missed dates. It's a little confusing given the criminal history you read in the last file, Your Honor, but I do trust that Ms. Schroeder knows how to work VineLink and saw what she saw. So given all that, we'd leave it to the court's discretion while we wait for that bond hearing.
Due to this case being a post disposition, meaning Mr. Shabazz has already pled guilty in this case, he's no longer presumed innocent. He has multiple failures to appear. I do not believe personal recognizance bond will ensure his appearance in court. Bond will be set at $500, 10%.
That's generous.
Mr. Shabazz, you have other conditions that still remain on your bond in this file, including a no contact order for Miss Nancy Lopez Moore. Remember that condition remains in place, continues to be a condition of your release. Do not have any direct or indirect contact with Nancy Lopez Moore. You're not to be within 2,000 feet of where she lives, works, or goes to school.
He seems to be taking it well. Hello, Michael. My kind of meds, right there. Possible.
All the other conditions of your prior bond are also in place. No alcohol, marijuana, illegal drugs, no firearms, no dangerous weapons, no out-of-state travel, no committing crimes. All of those things continue. I have one more file for you, Mr. Shabazz. This is State of Michigan versus Micah Shabazz, 2402475 SM.
Thank you, Your Honor. Jonathan Foreman, Office of the Public Defender, here with Mr. Shabazz for purposes of arraignment today.
Thank you.
But wait, there's more. Never ends.
Just copying over his address to make sure that the address is up to date, since that seems to be an issue with this file.
The reality of the charges are setting in with him. And he's realizing just how screwed he is. Yeah.
In this file, Mr. Shabazz, I have a misdemeanor complaint. This alleges that on or about April 17 of 2024, at a location at 6200 South Pennsylvania Avenue, City of Lansing, Ingham County, Michigan, you did, while Meijer was open to the public, steal property of the store that was offered for sale at a price of less than $200. This is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines, or 3 times the value of the property stolen, whichever is greater. Do you understand the charge and the possible penalty in this file?
Yes.
Mr. Shabazz, you have the right to have an attorney in this matter. If you can't afford one, we'll see if the public defender will represent you. You have the right to a trial that could be by jury. You have the right to see, hear, and question all of the witnesses against you at trial. You have the right to bring witnesses in your own defense. You could get a subpoena to make them appear. You have the right to testify at your trial if you wanted to, but if you did not want to testify, the prosecutor could not use your silence against you. You have the right to be presumed innocent unless they can prove that you are guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Mr. Shabazz, you want a public defender for this case as well?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So what happened in this case, Mr. Shabazz, is originally when the case was issued, a summons was mailed to you to appear for court. And it looks like you just never appeared on the summons, which was for September of 2024. After that, you did come into contact with law enforcement. It looks like February 8th of 2025. At that time, they gave you a court date of February 21 for arraignment. February 21, you did not appear for arraignment. When that happened, it looks like Judge Flores waited 48 hours and then issued a warrant for your arrest on February 24. Mr. Foreman, any reason why Mr. Shabazz did not present himself to the court around February 21?
I have nothing for the court on that, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I do not have a court date for Mr. Shabazz because this is an FTA on a non-assaultive case. The clerks will set the date when they get into the court tomorrow. For bond consideration, Mr. Foreman.
I'll maintain my arguments from the prior cases, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bandit decided she needed some cuddling. Look at how he's holding his chest like that. I bet that's where he keeps his peace.
This being a retail fraud case, I understand that it's not assaultive and the maximum possible penalty is a likely penalty to be imposed or not going to be significant amounts of incarceration or anything like that. However, I do have concerns that Mr. Shabazz had not presented to court when he was previously given an opportunity to do so, and multiple failures to appear in the other file. So bond in this case is set at 510%. With the condition, show up for court, don't leave the state without permission, do not commit crimes on bond, no alcohol, marijuana, or illegal drugs. Now, Mr. Shabazz, if you bond out before the clerks have set your court date, they're going to mail you a court date to the Waverly address you gave me. But in order to ensure your appearance and that you don't end up with a bunch of warrants and a bunch of bonds that you have to post again, it's important that you consider calling the court Monday afternoon or Tuesday morning and asking when your court dates are for the files that I could not give you a court date so that you don't end up missing and ending up with warrants again. Okay?
Okay.
What you had here was 2 files for which you don't have court dates and 1 file for which you have 2 court dates. Those dates aren't going to be the same. So it's important that you either receive your mail or get your dates from the court. I'm concerned anytime I can't give someone a court date, they're going to miss. So if you can call the court and ask for your court date, that would be in your best interest.
Okay.
Mr. Foreman, we've covered all the files, the charges, the court dates as much as I could, the bond, the conditions. Anything else for Mr. Shabazz?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Shabazz, you're all set.
Wow. I was not expecting that. By the way, here's a good picture of Bandit. Isn't she the best? She's the sweetest. I was not expecting that to take that long. We only got through 1 case. I was expecting to watch, multiple cases. But wow. Yeah, he had a lot going for him. Not in the good way, though. But this is done now. So for everybody who wanted to see the Webster thing. We're going to see it. And then we're going to see some more Webster stuff. And we're going to see somebody get snappy with JRegier. And it's glorious. Because, you know, his AI bot programming is not, it's not programmed for people giving him attitude. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yikes. That's all I gotta say. Yikes. Oh, it doesn't get that bad. It really doesn't. Judge Webster just puts her foot down on some attitude. What did I call this one? Oh, yeah. I called it Kansas Crazy.
I am looking for Alfonso Caldwell and Tanya Sanchez.
We already did Sanchez. We have a Tiana Richardson and a Dustin Newport I still have.
Well, hold on. That's not what I'm showing. What do you have, Missy?
I have Alfonso Caldwell and Tiana Richardson. That Newport bonded out, or no, well, he bonded on ours and then Lyon County come and got him
I
before.
noticed, okay, he was taken off the docket. And what did I do? Mix up Tanya Richardson and Sanchez?
Mhm.
And no one mentioned that I was using the wrong name?
You were using the right name.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, and these are my couple that I don't have anything filed to show that they have to be in court. I don't have a summons. I don't have a uniform notice to appear issued by the officer in the ticket.
Judge, the girls filed the ticket earlier today.
Okay, let me see if it's, maybe I just need to double check. Mr. Caldwell.
Tickets were issued January 23rd, 25 at 20:59 hours. But
Okay,
today,
well, let me make sure they made it to the file because I'm not seeing that. I don't see that, Ms. Gillette, and until I have filed verification that they had noticed this hearing. I'm not finding that. You're sure they filed them?
Arlene was the one who did it for us.
No, Missy, do you have that where you can look at it? Because I am not seeing it filed. Maybe I need to. No, I think I've already refreshed to see if they've been added. If you want to
They're
check,
not in the case yet.
what was that, Missy?
I said they're not showing up in the case yet.
I don't know if upstairs hasn't approved them or what's going on.
I can check.
Would you check? We'll take just a real quick recess because I don't have anything in the file to show they have notice of the hearing, so I can't take any action for their failure to appear without it.
Arlene's gonna bring the unfiled copy upstairs, Your Honor, but they were submitted this morning by Jessica.
They haven't made it into the file for some reason. Well, I need to I need the originals. You're thinking the originals are on file somewhere or waiting to be filed? See what Missy finds. Maybe they'll find the originals at the clerk's.
What, Judge? I'm sorry, I'm back now.
Well, she said they'll bring up, if I understood Miss Gillette right, they're bringing up copies, but where are the originals?
I think I actually have a copy because I was asking them today about it, so
Well, I need.
I can print you off the copies that I got
Now,
sent.
copies, I need original documentation that these people had notice of this hearing, either in the form of a returned summons or a citation. And I don't have one of anything to show that they know about this hearing today.
Your Honor, the citations, we get a Xerox of them. We don't get the originals. The originals normally stay either in the file with the sheriff's office now, or they go straight upstairs. But this had to be long formed because it's marijuana. And so
Well, even with the long form, I would accept, you don't have the originals, Arlene? You have copies? Have those been filed with the clerk? They have been filed. They didn't make it into their file. Do you know why? I don't have them in the file.
Well, because that's the clerks.
Okay. Well, Missy, did you check with the clerks?
Yes, I just checked with them and they have not been, they do not have them. They're not in the queue to approve.
I know they're not in the queue. I looked through the queue. Oh, unless you mean their queue.
Yeah,
Well,
they're,
what I'm going to do, now I'm looking at copies of tickets. And I've seen enough tickets over the years to know these are tickets, and they do appear to be signed by the signature I know as Blake Fisher's, although I'm not an expert in handwriting. But I am not comfortable issuing any kind of failure to appear warrants if there's no documentation in the file. These are just handed to me, but once they are filed, then I would not hesitate to issue warrants for their failures to appear. So I'm going to set these two cases over till next Tuesday. By then, I'm sure that we'll figure out why those haven't been filed. And then if they're not here at that date and time, we'll issue warrants, but they'll have to be given notice of the new date and time. And it looks like they're out of Wichita, Kansas. Yes, so
if I have to issue new summonses, then it's going to be more than a week because I have to issue them, send them to Wichita, and have them served on them. They have their notices to appear, complaints.
all right, I'll tell you what, I don't.
I don't even get the original anymore.
Just file the copies, whatever, but they have to be filed, Ms. Gillette. I have nothing that gives me legal authority to issue failure to appear warrants. I have in the file, and I'm looking at it, a complaint, a probable cause affidavit, a notice that you're going to rely on KBI reports, and that's it. There is nothing in the file to show legally that they have notice of this hearing. So I don't know where the tickets are. I don't know why they're not filed. I understand that someone in your office said they gave them to the clerk. I understand the clerk to say they don't have them. I don't know where they are, but I do not have them, so I cannot issue any kind of warrant for failure to appear. So in fact, if you find them and get them in there even today, we can deal with it today rather than trying to issue summonses. Get me something I can legally use. Otherwise,
I'll call Sheriff Samuels and ask him if he can bring the originals out of his file.
I'm not telling you you have to do the originals. I'm just telling you, Miss Gillette, I cannot legally issue a warrant. And you know that. You know I have to have verification before I issue a warrant.
And we emailed them to your staff who has them this morning. They were sent to
My
us this morning.
secretary is not the clerk of the district court. My secretary is not the custodian for that. They
We
have to be
brought a copy
filed.
up to you. I'm not going to argue with you.
Well, you better not.
We'll just take it up later.
Ms. Gillette, who is the judge here? I am not going to accept your behavior. You're putting me in a position where I'm going to have to find you in contempt of court if you're going to act like this.
I don't have the original, Judge. I can't get it to you. We filed them this morning. That's all I can tell you.
Ms.
We all-
Gillette, you are not listening to me. And you're being contemptuous.
The state has contempt immunity. We already briefed this. If you would like us to get them filed again, we will
You
file.
have contempt immunity? Do you have ethical immunity that you can talk to a judge any way you want and have no repercussions?
That was the biggest screw you with a smile on her face that Jill could have given to Judge Webster.
Is what you're saying?
Judge, I will find the originals, whoever has them, and we'll see if we can get them to you. We will get them filed.
And we will finish this later, Ms. Gillette. At this time, Missy, it looks like Ms. Gillette has decided to remove herself from the hearing. As I said, this matter is not over and it will not be tolerated. But for now, we will be in recess.
Does she know she screwed up?
All right, Ms. Cummings, let's take up Stewart on the record in 2023 TR 940, State of Kansas versus Clarissa Michelle Stewart. Please announce appearances.
JRegier on behalf of the state.
Larissa Stewart appears in person and by counsel Nika Cummings on Zoom.
And this is a DUI. How does she want to proceed today, Ms. Cummings?
Your Honor, I think this was she was on diversion and they were
Wanting to revoke that maybe?
right. And I've been told that they're withdrawing that. And so I sent an email out to Brett this morning. Bill says that he's already talked to him. He just needed to verify that it wasn't going to be on the docket. So we showed up just in case.
Well, I have it on my docket, but I printed that docket out last week. So Jen, have you seen it taken off of there? It's still on there, isn't it, for the time being?
It is still on there.
But that's not, I don't doubt that the two attorneys talked. Mr. Regier, did Mr. Sweeney fill you in on any developments?
Your Honor, I have no notes in response to counsel's statements on the record. If the court does want to set this over one time under the circumstances, I do not believe the state would have an objection. This does appear to be the first hearing. Well, forgive me, Your Honor, there does appear to be
Quite a few hearings.
There does appear to be some prior hearings on the motion to revoke diversion, but I do not have any notes as far as any prospective withdrawals of the motion to revoke diversion at this time.
Is Mr. Sweeney available where you could have a brief chat with him?
Your Honor, unfortunately, I do not have Mr. Sweeney's schedule in front of me, so I cannot say for certain.
Well, we could take a recess if you want to scan the office and see. I'm really hesitant to put things off onto other days if I can, as you know, because of the overcrowding. If I could take it off, I'd like to do that. Would you mind taking a brief recess and checking to see if he's available?
Hey, Judge, can I interrupt real quick? I have almost a substantially similar situation with Mr. Sweeney. So if you do find Mr. Sweeney, Mr. Regier, tell him I need to talk about our diversion too on Mark Rochelle.
Okay. Can you check with Shell and Stewart real quick? I mean, I know he may not even be available. He may be in another court. He could be on vacation. But if there's any way we could resolve them, was there someone else that started to say something? Was that you?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that she did provide all her she did finish it. She did complete everything, and that was the
Everything afterwards.
discussion we had.
Okay.
Same. I sent everything, completing the diversion on Mark Voshell to Brett on July 8th.
Okay, so it's not just Shell, it's much, what, is it this gentleman, Shell?
Voshell, sorry, Judge, Mark Voshell.
Well,
I'm
I'm
sorry,
gonna,
I didn't mean to interrupt, but if we're gonna snag
Yeah,
Mr. Sweeney,
yeah,
let's
forget
bring
it.
him in on
I'm
mine.
going to impose on you, Mr. Regier, and see if there's any chance he's available to get this moving.
I will endeavor to do so, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I do appreciate it.
Your Honor, this is Iceberg Cave, and I'd
Yes,
just
Mr.
like to get
Patterson
your,
was looking for you. Were you not available?
we just spoke.
Okay,
Yes, and I'm just coming to you with my current situation. I'm currently stuck in my car. I lost my key, and my phone is about to die soon, but I don't want to miss my court date.
all right, thank you. Mr. Patterson, do you want to take his case? Oh, I can't. I just sent Mr.
Judge, it's going to be setting for jury trial.
No.
Well,
We're
I just sent the
gonna do no
prosecutor on a-
contest.
I just sent him on a mission. I asked him.
I-
to Mr.
I need a breakout room with Mr. Cave then, if I could, Judge.
Very well. Mr. Bauer, what case are you here for?
Your Honor, I am here on Lamont Ziner. Last I knew, he was in custody in Elk County. I don't know if he still is.
Lamont Ziner. Anybody know if he's still in Elk County custody? Maybe Mr. Patterson.
I was trying to check, I was checking the Elk
Lamont-
County case
Oh,
to see when he was supposed to get out, but I hadn't gotten that far yet.
okay. You can figure that out, you think, here in the next little bit?
Yes.
Okay. Iceberg Cave wanted to talk to you. Did you get to talk to him?
I did, Your Honor, and it's for a plea of no contest.
All right. So, Mr. Regier, anytime you have an answer on Mr. Sweeney?
Your Honor, I have endeavored to communicate with my colleague. I have not received a response as yet. If the court wants to go on the record in the Cave matter, and the state would not have an objection, I am prepared to proceed on that matter.
All right, we'll do that. We're on the record in 2024 CR 227, State of Kansas versus Iceberg Cave. Please announce appearances.
JRegier on behalf of the state.
Your Honor, Darren Patterson appear on behalf of Iceberg Cave. Mr. Cave does appear via Zoom audio visual. Your Honor, when that's this time, Mr. Cave is going to enter plea of no contest to the sole charge of battery.
Mr. Cave, is that correct? You wish to plead no contest to battery from May 8th of 2024?
Correct.
By pleading no contest, do you mean that you don't want to admit the charge, but you do not want to deny it and take it to trial?
Correct.
Is anyone making you enter this no contest plea today by any threats or promises?
No.
Very well, Mr. Regier, is there a factual basis to support a count of battery against this defendant?
One moment, Your Honor.
I do see an affidavit of May 13th, 2024. Have the parties considered that as a probable cause?
Yes, Your Honor. And besides that, the affidavit does appear to refer to an encounter occurring on May 8th of 2024. Between the defendant and the victim, where it was the alleged that the defendant made contact with the victim in an area against her will, as well as grabbed her by the arm and began dragging her out of a certain building. It would appear, based off of the reports, that the particular encounter occurred on a college campus within Butler County boundaries, specifically seemingly on Butler County College grounds.
And it looks like that might have been the 1800 building is that the one over there in Andover, maybe?
That would be the state's understanding, Your Honor, and the specific content does appear to be addressed in paragraph 6 of the affidavit. I'm not sure if the court wants me to go into the precise details of that, given the nature of this hearing.
Mr. Patterson, do you have any objection to me accepting the affidavit and the comments of counsel as factual basis?
No objection.
Then I will do so and find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily entered a no contest plea and that the state provides a factual basis to support it. Finding the defendant guilty, I would ask if anyone has recommendations for sentencing.
One moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, I am not aware of any any communications concerning plea negotiations between my colleague, Ms. Norris, who filed the case, and counsel for the defense, but at this juncture, the state would be prepared to recommend a 6-month underlying sentence with 6 months of reporting probation, that the defendant be required to complete an anger management course, that the court assess all costs and make appropriate determinations regarding fees. The state would further be recommending a no contact with the victim, that the court orders a condition of probation, which the state does believe is standard, that there be no drugs or alcohol during the reporting probation, as well as that the court make a determination on the issue of attorney fees.
Mr. Patterson, any recommendations?
Thank you, Judge. Judge, this is a situation where my client was at Butler County Community College from out of state. He lives in Alabama. He's not attending Butler County anymore. He's residing in Alabama. It's also my understanding that the alleged victim was attending Butler County, is a resident of Texas. So I don't think contact is going to be an issue going forward here. Further, he does, again, as I stated, live in Alabama, and that, and I've lost my client, Judge.
Yes, you have. Mr. Cave, can you start your video again and leave your video on? Thank you.
I just wanted to make sure he was still here.
Well, I was getting ready
so-
to check. I didn't want to interrupt. Thank you.
Yes, so Ice Burke, that is his name, Ice Burke Cave, lives in Alabama and allegedly assaulted a woman in Butler County. And now they have to figure out how to work his sentence and probation and all of that with him not being a resident.
He does reside in Alabama, has no intentions of coming back to Butler County to attend school. He really ideally wasn't planning on entering in the military as quickly as he could so that he would have a future in the military, but probation is going to hold him up on that. He understands that. He is asking the court to consider a non-reporting probation because there will not be any contact. He won't have any contact with Kansas going forward. It was a minimal, I guess, as far as batteries go, a minimal contact battery, so that it was more of a nuisance. So we just asked the court to consider a jail sentence, no fine, and place him on at a non-reporting probation.
Is Mr. Bauer of probation still on here, court services? Thank you, Mr. Bauer. So I don't know if you've been listening to what's going on, but as far as the defendant living in Alabama and the battery conviction, wanting to put him on reporting probation, but how complicated would that be trying to transfer that? If at all possible.
If he's reporting probation, and the sentence is more than 12, or the probation's more than 12 months and sentence is 12 months or more, then that is a mandatory interstate compact. So we would have to do interstate compact to get him transferred down to Alabama. And it's not an option. We have to do that one because it's a person crime.
What if you said if it's more than 12? What if it's
if it's less than a 12-month sentence, less than 12-month probation, then we have some discretion.
Well, It's a B misdemeanor. Let me know. Yeah, no, oh, that's an A misdemeanor. Okay, I'm sorry. Used to be a B.
Judge,
Oh, no, it's not battery. It's violation of a protection order. Is that what you're gonna say, Mr. Patterson?
it's a B misdemeanor battery.
Let me double check. Okay, I've still got Arnold on here.
She is clearly off her game, or rocker, or both.
Your
Okay,
Honor,
I thought it was battery. It's a B misdemeanor battery. Okay, yes, Mr.
But-
Regier.
counsel for the defense does appear to be correct in that count one of the information appears to be charged as a class B person misdemeanor battery.
It does, and I knew that, but yet I pulled up Arnold and threw my, and had to switch the screen back again. So at this point, I'm going to Mr. Cave sentence you. What? First, I want to know what's the relationship to this girl, this victim.
No relationship.
She's just somebody that was in school with you there at the college?
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, I am going to give you the maximum sentence, which is 6 months. I do think a 12-month reporting probation is appropriate. You will need to contact,
And that might kick in the interstate compact, Judge.
oh, does it, Mr. Bauer, if I don't have to do both?
Yes, if it's a 12-month sentence or 12-month reporting, then we have to do compact. So you could make it an 11-month reporting, and that would eliminate that mandatory transfer.
All right, where are you working, Mr. Cave?
Snap, the stop,
What type of business is that?
warehouse for
It's what?
warehouse work.
Warehouse work, and are you still looking at going into the military?
Yes, correct.
Have
Still
you
in
been
contact.
have you been accepted?
I can't continue with the process if I'm on probation.
Have you looked into any anger management programs down there?
No, ma'am.
Well, maybe that interstate compact isn't all bad, because I do want to make sure that you do complete anger management. I'm ordering that as part of a 12-month reporting probation. I'm ordering that you pay $158 court costs, $250 court-appointed attorney's fees. Is it still $60 supervision with a transfer, Mr. Bauer? Yes?
Yes, Your Honor, it would still be a $60 probation fee.
Okay. And I'm going to order all standard conditions, including that you maintain your employment, that you complete that, and I'm ordering that you have that set up. I want you to call and make the appointment for that. I'm going to say within 30 days, because you may need to see a probation officer and have a little bit of time to set that up, but you get that set up. As an incentive to get all of this done, including the no contact with the victim, which I don't think is going to be an issue. I may look at an early discharge so that you can go ahead with your military plans, but at this time, I don't think reporting is all bad for this type of offense and with the requirements that you need to complete. As far as payment, are you going to need some time to pay this?
Yes, I need a little bit of time.
It's about $468. How much time will you need?
2 months.
All right, get that paid within 60 days. That'll be a condition of your probation. And then immediately after this hearing, I want you to call the 13th Judicial District probation and call them, because you have to start probation here, and then they have to work on some stuff to get it compacted to your Alabama state. So call, are you ready to write down the number?
Yes.
316-322-4153. Call them immediately after this hearing. And make sure that you go over whatever they need you to know and comply with this so that you can get this taken care of instead of getting your probation revoked. Because if it is revoked, you could end up serving 6 months in the Butler County Jail in Kansas. Anything else, counsel?
Judge, I do have a question about the interstate compact that Mr. Bauer may be able to answer. The last time, and it's been a while since I've been involved with interstate compact, but the last time I was involved, it's my understanding the person could not leave the state of Kansas or enter into the other state until such time as they were accepted under interstate compact. If they're resident, it's easier, I understand, but I just want to make sure he's not already in violation as he sits there in Alabama.
Thank you. That's a good point. Do you know the answer to that, Mr. Bauer, since he's already there and they're a citizen?
He is a current resident of Alabama, correct?
Mr. Cave, is that correct?
Correct.
And how long have you been a
Okay.
citizen there?
I was born in Alabama in 2004.
You were just here.
We should be good with him there. We'll have to get some information. We're gonna have to get a photo of him, stuff like that. So he's gonna have to get a hold of us and get that started quick because we only have a limited time to send a request to them. But we should be good since he is currently living there. He's there when he's getting sentenced. We can put it through as an expedited and we should be all right getting that done. However, if they deny it, then he has to come to Kansas. But since he's a resident, they should not deny it.
Very good. Well, thank you for that good question, Mr. Patterson. Thank you for that answer, Mr. Bauer. And call your probation officer, Mr. Cave, at this time as we are in recess and you are excused for that purpose.
And Your Honor,
Yes?
besides, if the court is not assessing a fine in this case, the state would be requesting clarification as to whether or not the court wants the journal entry to reflect that the anger management report shall be scheduled within a certain period. I believe the court had considered that on the record, at least briefly.
All of that is correct. I'm not ordering a fine. I am ordering that all money be paid within 60 days and that within 30 days, he have his anger management scheduled.
Very good, Your Honor.
And Judge, that did raise another question for me that Mr. Regier made me think of. That is the journal entry. It might need to be expedited in order to make sure the interstate compact also gets done.
Good point. And then that also makes me wonder, Mr. Bauer, do we typically expect a time limit on how many hours? I typically think of at least an 8-hour, but I'm not sure that that's necessarily enough. Does your department have a standard on that?
Number of hours for what, Your Honor?
For the anger management course?
He would need to do an assessment
Okay.
and then whatever they recommend. If the company he goes to doesn't do an assessment, they may have an automatic, this is what you do. But if there is an assessment, he'll need to do that. That will tell him how many hours he needs to complete.
All right. Make sure you sign. I'm ordering you. Where'd you go, Mr. Cave? Can you keep your camera on here?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Well, okay. Mr. Cave, I'm ordering that you sign any and all releases between yourself and any testing, any treatment, and Butler County probation and Alabama probation if it's transferred. Now, you told me you'd been locked out of your car. Apparently you found your way back in?
No, I'm not locked out of my car. I just don't have my key.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
All right, then if you would expedite the journal entry, Mr. Regier, and if you'll call probation right now, Mr. Cave, we'll be in recess. You may go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes.
on Mr. Ziner, he was still in the Elk County Jail. He is on the meeting now, so I don't know if Mr. Patterson needs a meeting with him or not, but we did get that taken care of and they're on now.
Mr. Patterson, would you be available to meet with Lamont Ziner on his 2 cases, apparently at the Elk County Jail?
I would need a breakout room with him. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Jen, if you
And
could. work
could
that
I
out.
inquire, Judge, on the breakout room with Elk County? Is that a place where I can have an attorney-client discussion or not?
Well, Mr. Ziner, are you in there by yourself? We need to unmute.
The jailer's in here. and
All
they're-
right,
we're gonna-
Jailer, can we give him privacy for attorney client privilege.
Yes, I can walk outside the door.
There's still,
Okay, and we don't have microphones or anything on that will pick up their conversation.
No, not that I know of.
the
Thank
camera.
you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
And Your Honor,
Yes, Mr. Regier.
far be it for me to dictate the order for the court to take up cases. However, if the court is prepared to take up the Stewart matter, I am now in a position to address it summarily.
We are back on the record in BU 2023 TR 940, State of Kansas versus Clarissa Michelle Stewart. All parties appearing as before. Mr. Regier.
Yes, Your Honor, some additional information has been brought to my attention regarding this case. At this time, the state would move to withdraw the motion to revoke diversion as filed with the court back in July of 2024.
Very well. The state's motion to withdraw diversion is withdrawn, and the case is satisfied to be removed from the docket at this time.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you, Ms. Cummings. Ms. Stewart?
May I interrupt, Mr. Regier? Did you receive?
Yes, how about Mr. Hamey's case?
Unfortunately, Your Honor, I am not in a position to address that case as yet.
Okay, do you think you might be able to in the next little bit?
Your Honor, I will endeavor to advise the court as soon as I am in a position to do so.
What is that? He's kind of speaking riddles to me. Does that mean you are communicating with Mr. Sweeney? Because he's got about a half a dozen emails from me that he could respond to.
Your Honor, as previously indicated, I am in communication with my colleague, Mr. Sweeney, but I have not heard back from him regarding this case as yet.
Very good.
So, well, and Mr. Hamey, remind me your client's name.
Mark Voshell, and he's under M.
Yes,
Voshell.
yes. Yes, I saw him a while ago and I just forgot. Thank you. Oh, I saw him on the screen. Jen, where do you show him on there? With the V, right?
Yeah, it's M. Voshell. He's pictured here.
Is M his first initial or his?
It's first Mark Voshell.
That's what I thought.
You
Okay.
see
I
him?
see him on the screen. Okay, he's above Bulls.
Good looking fella, huh?
He wasn't on here when I printed it last week, but he is definitely on the cutout for the computer, on the computer. All right, well, hopefully we'll know something about him very soon. And then Mr. Nicholson, did you have any luck finding clients today?
Yes, Your Honor. I have Abraham Guerrero with me here in the office.
All right, let's take him up.
Come on over here.
Did this guy inhale helium or what?
Get him over here with me.
Okay. We are on the record in 2024 CR 526, State of Kansas versus Abraham Guerrero. Please announce appearances.
JRegier on behalf of the state.
Brian Nicholson on behalf of the defendant, who also appears in person by Zoom.
And Mr. Nicholson, how does your client wish to proceed today?
Your Honor, we have received discovery and I have reviewed discovery with my client, and I think it's our intent to file for diversion in this matter.
Very well. And Jen, when is my next date for a diversion review?
April 14th.
April 14th at 9 a.m. What that means to you, Mr. Guerrero, is that you need to have your application turned in right away within the next few days, I would suggest. And then you look for a contract in the mail. And if you don't have that contract in a few weeks or so, call your attorney so he can track it down. And then you need to get that contract back so it can be filed well before April 14th. If it is, you won't have to be back here April 14th at 9 a.m. Now, your attorney may have told you all of this, and I know he will if he hasn't, but don't delay on that diversion. And you'll need an alcohol and drug evaluation. Talk to him about getting that done as soon as possible. Yeah, your bond again is continued, provided that you either be diverted or be back here April 14th at 9. Anything further, Mr. Nicholson?
Your Honor, if I could ask Mr. Regier a question.
Okay,
Just simply, is there a paper diversion application?
Your Honor, the state's understanding is that diversion applications are exclusively in an online format at this
all
juncture.
right. They've evidently, yeah, apparently made it where you have to go online. And do you
All
have
right.
an online site for that, Mr. Nicholson?
We can do that, Your Honor. It's inconvenient, but it can get done.
Okay, it's bucoks.com.
Yes.
Butler County, Kansas. All right, thank you, gentlemen. You are, Mr. Guerrero is excused. How about your other client? Did you find him, Mr. Nicholson?
I believe he's out there somewhere on Zoom.
Judge, I apologize. Could I interrupt just for a minute?
Sure.
There was I guess an issue or problem as I'd call, trying to have an attorney-client discussion. That I was informed that they have 2 cameras in that room recording at all times, including the attorney-client conversations. I'm aware of a federal court case that was in Kansas City, found that practice to be illegal. So I wanted to get the court's input on how to proceed at this point.
Is the deputy still available or did he walk out? Well, if they're listening, I don't know if they're listening or just recording.
He's in there. Well,
Deputy, are you available?
Yes.
All right, what are we gonna do to get him attorney-client privilege? What can we do?
This is a booking room. This is where we hold all of our Zoom court.
Okay, and is Mr. Patterson correct? You're gonna have recording going at all time where they won't have any privacy or confidentiality?
There isn't anything I can do about it.
Well, then what we're gonna have to do, Mr. Patterson, is get him back here to Butler County where you can have that privilege.
and that'd be fine, Judge, if we can do a transport and bring him back. I'll just go see him at the jail.
What's he down there with Elk County for? Does he have charges there?
Yes.
Judge, I
And
understand he's doing a 90-day jail sentence so that
We watched that hearing. Yeah. Yeah, he's got the full 90 days. He didn't like it either. He kind of went bam bam on the table and yelled that it just ain't right, and yeah, he had a little temper tantrum, meltdown. Link will be in the description for his playlist.
now that's not the one you're there for, is it, Mr. Bauer?
Your Honor, he's doing a 90-day jail sentence on a probation revocation from an Elk County case. That's what he's in there for right now, is a revocation.
So we would either need to wait until he finishes that sentence and then bring him back, or perhaps we could go get him and bring him back in the middle of his sentence, which I'm not crazy about. Do I hear any recommendations from counsel?
I guess the other option, Judge, is that we can set it over 1 week. They can discuss with the sheriff how to turn the cameras off for attorney-client privileged discussions, which would fit within federal law. And then we could take it up next week.
All right, I will continue this to next week at 9 a.m. And Deputy, if you guys want to talk about that and see if there is anything you can do or will do. I mean, we're kind of just asking for you to consider, because it's your jail and you've got him in custody and we need to go with what we have to go with. But for now, if there is any way you can accommodate a attorney-client privilege, we can go ahead and take this back up at 9 o'clock next Monday.
I can check with the sheriff and see if we can move to another room or something.
Okay, if you can. If you can't, you can't. But we'll appreciate anything you can do to help us there.
All right.
All right, so if there's nothing further, we'll be in recess till next Monday at 9 o'clock.
Your Honor,
Yes, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, if the court is continuing these two matters to next Monday at 9, the state would respectfully inquire as to whether CSO Officer Bauer is likewise available at the next
That's a
hearing.
good point. Thank you. Is he available? Mr. Bauer, are you available next Monday?
Your Honor, I have a couple of things scheduled next Monday, but I can work on getting those moved this week.
You sure? I mean, I could try to put it over 2 weeks.
2 weeks, I'm even fuller, so next week would be
All right.
better. I'll get those moved this week. I'll get them moved over to where I'm available next
Okay.
Monday morning.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And if there's nothing further, we'll be in recess. And thank you to the Yoke County Jail for making him as available as you did today.
Your Honor,
Yes.
that is the only thing I have on your docket this morning. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Bauer. You are excused. The defendant is excused.
Yeah, Mr. Ziner he's a character. He is a character. And you are correct that this whole docket is a clear example of the problems that have been going on. You know, we've got prosecutors that are not responding to attorneys. We've got attorneys just having attitude and snapping at the prosecutor, and it's crazy. Like I couldn't believe when that attorney said he's just speaking riddles. I'm surprised it took this long for someone to say that to JRegier.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then back to did we get both of Mr. Nicholson's taken care of?
No, just one of them, Your Honor. We still have one left to go.
All right, and that's Rykoff?
Correct. And he's on
Rykoff?
Zoom. He's with us.
Where is he now?
Hello,
Oh,
Your
there
Honor.
he is, and it's Rykoff?
Rykoff, yes.
Very well, we are on the record in 2024 CR 469, State of Kansas versus Matthew Rykoff. Please announce appearances.
JRegier on behalf of the state.
Brian Nicholson appearing on behalf of the defendant who appears in person by Zoom.
And how does your client wish to proceed at this time, Mr. Nicholson?
Your Honor, I just very recently filed my entry of appearance and I need to obtain discovery. So if I could set this over for status review.
This is a charge of conspiracy to commit criminal damage of property under $1,000. This is our first control or status hearing. Mr. Regier, any objections?
Not under these circumstances, Your Honor.
All right, this will be continued. And is that April 14th date again, Jen?
That is correct.
And apparently you made bond. Let me see. I didn't see a copy of it in here, but it could be in the queue. Mr. Regier, do you have a copy of a bond?
One moment, Your Honor.
Mr. Rykoff, did you go out and get your picture and prints taken like I told you to?
Yes, I do.
Your Honor, based off my notes from the December 6th hearing before Chief Judge Rickey, it does appear that the court did make certain orders concerning booking and bond. I do not appear to have an appearance bond in my file, though I am showing a summons for that December 6th date.
Well, it was December 6th that he was told to go out there and get his picture and prints taken and the bond made. And he's not on your list, is he, court security, to go out and get that done? Do you have any notes about that? All right. If I don't find that bond in my queue, Mr. Rykoff,
My
we're gonna have
wife,
a problem.
the paperwork I have from
You
her
have
office.
you have a copy of the bond?
I believe so, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, I better find it after a while when I go in there to my queue, as they call it, and look for it. Okay, well, I will trust that you have signed it and that I will find it, or you're going to be in trouble if I have misplaced my trust. Anything else from anyone? If
Your Honor,
not-
for speedy trial purposes, if the court is continuing this matter to April 14th, the state would be requesting a ruling on the record as to whether this continuance is at the defense's request.
Well, it is at the defendant's request. Any objection to time counting against the defendant, Mr. Nicholson?
No, Your Honor.
Very well, then that is the court's finding an order, and Mr. Rykoff is excused. Mr. Nicholson, you're excused unless you have someone else or something else.
That is it, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You.
All right, any word from Mr. Sweeney yet on Bochelle?
One moment, Your Honor. Unfortunately, Your Honor, I do not have any updates to present to the court at this time.
Mr. Hamey, how would you like to proceed?
Thank you, Judge. First of all, the procedural posture, I can't tell if there is a warrant. This is technically a hearing on bond forfeiture. So if I can recite a little bit of procedural posture, the case, there was a motion.
Hang on, let me, I've misplaced. Which one was your client again?
Mark Bochelle.
Okay, let's see. Have you entered appearance on Mr. Bochelle?
I am.
Okay, okay, he's the one that they added. That's why he's not on the list again.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I filed my entry of appearance.
All right, let me go on the record. Yes, I see you're on there now. We are on the record in 2022 TR 2608, State of Kansas versus Mark Bochelle. Please announce appearances.
JRegier on behalf of the state.
And Mr. Bochelle appears with counsel by Zoom.
All right, and as counsel was getting ready to say, this is a motion for judgment on bond. And the defendant is now here. Mr. JRegier, do you have any intentions of setting that motion aside, or do you want to hear what counsel has to say?
One moment, Your Honor.
Very well.
Your Honor, under these circumstances, perhaps it would be most appropriate for counsel for the defense to make any statements he may wish to make before I address the motion for judgment on bond.
All right, and before he does, do I understand correctly that we also have a motion to revoke diversion?
Well,
Is the state wanting to pursue both?
Your Honor, based off of my notes, it would appear that motion to revoke diversion was heard by the court back in July, where it was granted by default, and then the matter was set for trial on stipulated facts in September.
So the state is wanting to proceed on its trial for stipulated facts. Is that correct?
That is the state's understanding of the current status of the matter, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Hamey, you've been back and forth sending emails to Mr. Sweeney on these issues?
yeah, Judge. So the procedural posture is on May 7th, there was a motion to revoke diversion filed, set for May 13th. That was moved to July 8th.
And
But
this
then
is
at
all
the-
in the year 2024?
Yeah, and then there was an intervening corrected motion to revoke diversion that was filed that had a new hearing of 7/22 at 9. So we had two competing dates, 7/12 and 7/22. I became involved in the interim, communicated with Mr. Sweeney numerous times between July 8th and July 12th, and was under the impression that the diversion was going to be satisfactorily completed and that motion to revoke was going to be set aside. That there was a September 12th date for a trial on stipulated facts that I don't think we ever got notice of, and there wasn't anything in the record. If the court looks at least my view of E-Flex is that there's not anything referencing that September date. So between July 8th and 12/17, when we received that notice of the motion for judgment on bond, we were under the impression that the case was resolved and closed a long dang time ago. So that's why I'm wondering, step one is to address that bond. He's here. We've always been here whenever I thought we were supposed to be here or when we received notice of the hearing. And the second thing is we provided way back on July 8th and well, between July 8th and July 12th, all of the information that Mr. Sweeney needed to see that he had completed or satisfied the conditions of the diversion. We were under the impression, Judge, that the case was resolved. Everything was done. So I have, since I received that motion to revoke or the motion for judgment on bond, I've again tried to communicate with Mr. Sweeney, and to date, I have received zero response. So I'm just glad to hear he's still alive, perhaps still working at the Butler County Attorney's Office. So that's good news.
Well, I show the motion to revoke diversion is filed June 14th of 2024.
Are you sure?
Then there was a bond posted July 8th, maybe filed the 12th.
Judge, are we looking at the same thing? Because the motion to revoke diversion on E-Flex was filed May 7th. And then on May 13th, there was a corrected notice of hearing for motion to revoke diversion. So that's how we got the 2 dates.
Well, May 13th is the return service. Does that square with what you're saying?
Yes, I guess so.
Okay.
But then on June 14th, you see that I got a return of service on that June 14th. And that one is
There
the
is
one.
a corrected notice of hearing on the May 13th, June 14th, return of motion, so that the June 14th must be the corrected notice. And then the bond to July, bond forfeiture October, bench warrant October.
So see that July 8th date from the original motion to revoke, and then there was 7/12. And then that bond was filed 7/12, setting it for 7/22.
And that would have been for his failing to appear on the motion to revoke diversion corrected motion.
On the 12th, but it was originally set for the 8th by Zoom.
Well, are you saying he was here on the 8th?
I think we were there on the 8th, and I'm not sure if it was duplicative, that 7/8 and 7/12 were duplicative dates.
Okay. My notes for July 8th indicate I was here. Mr. Regier was here. It says attorney was here, which I trust was you, that he had completed most of the conditions of diversion, but failed to report the completion.
Right.
And you requested a continuance to get the completion, no objections. And we continued it to July 22nd.
Right.
And that's when the defendant failed to appear and Mr. Hamey was not here.
That's right.
So the
And it's
motion to
because-
revoke was granted.
And that's because between those 2 dates, Judge, as I said, he had completed everything, but they hadn't reported it. So I reported it to Brett and was under the impression that resolved it, case closed, which is why neither of us appeared, not anybody. Mr. Voshell or I appeared on the 22nd.
Okay, and that's when the diversion was revoked by default and
Right.
set for trial the 16th of September. No one came then, but I do not see there was a notice of hearing on that.
Right.
And then, of course, today. So this is a little bit convoluted, questionable, and Mr. Sweeney is not available. Is that right, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, I've just reviewed my my notes again. At this point, as before, I do not have an update to present to the court regarding this case at this time. And I do
What I
not,
can do is set this over to 9 o'clock Monday and have Mr. Sweeney here, or have the matter resolved by journal entry prior to then.
under these circumstances, Your Honor, no objection to setting this over to Monday.
Judge, what time Monday?
9 o'clock.
I have a murder sentencing in Saline County at 9 with Judge Peterson.
Do you want to try for later? I'll probably still be in docket easily at 11. Although I'm hoping you guys will have this resolved. You and
Well,
Mr.
God,
Sweeney.
yeah, amen. I thought we had it resolved in July, but I mean, I'll join you as soon as I'm done. But if I'm not there by 10:30, I don't want you upset with us.
All right, Jen, can you make a note and remind me not to be upset with him if he's not there when I call his case? If you'll remind me that I said he can come at You think 11's good enough?
I hope so. I mean,
If
it
it's
is,
not, if it carries over, you said it's a murder sentencing, so that.
well, and it's not just your regular old murder sentencing. It was a real life mercy killing. So there's a lot of people involved.
Okay, well, let's set that over to 2 weeks as well. 9 a.m. in 2 weeks. Are you available then?
I can do that. Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Michelle, unless your attorney tells you otherwise, you're continued on your bond with the added condition that you must be here in 2 weeks at 9 a.m. That's March what? Jen, do you have that date?
10th.
That is correct, March 10th.
March 10th, all right. But hopefully, the attorneys on the case will come to an agreement by then, and we may not even have to have it.
Judge, will you confirm there's not a warrant though?
Well, let's see. I will have to look to see. Looks like there probably is. Jen, is that on this case alone?
This whole mess is a cluster. I can't say the other word. You know what I was going for.
One moment. The attorney would have to contact the jail on the warrant, as it is not public information.
Well, I'm thinking I could, if it's just a Butler County warrant, I'll set it aside on this case under the unique circumstances.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything else. And usually what happens when I call the jail about a warrant is they tell me to go pound sand. So
Well, I'm setting aside, and if you'll journalize that, Mr. Regier, and let the sheriff know, I'm setting aside the warrant just because of the circumstances in this particular case. So there, that takes care of that.
thank you, Judge. With that, then, can we be excused till March 10th?
Unless there's anything further from the state, yes, you are excused.
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Gearing, are you here? On Jesse Lee? See if we've had a change on Jesse Lee's status. Since I printed my docket last week. Looks like he's gone. Apparently he was canceled. Yes, he was canceled. So I'm taking Mr. Lee off my docket. Any other defense counsels other than Mr. Patterson or in addition to Mr. Patterson? See a few pro ses, but I think it's all yours from there, Mr. Patterson. Okay, who's in security, deputy?
Well, I have 4 people. I have Tracy Peoples, which is Mr. Patterson's.
Okay, give me just a minute.
Okay.
Tracy Peoples, she has just the one case. Okay,
Curtis Walls, also Mr. Patterson's.
very well. He's set for sentencing, but does not have a, go ahead.
Okay, and then I have 2 pro ses, Christina Hinman and Floyd Williams.
Very well. All right, Mr. Patterson, do you have any that you want to start right now? Like maybe the ones in security?
That's fine, Judge.
Okay, let's look at one of Mr. Patterson's then. Which one are you bringing in, Peoples?
Tracy Peoples.
And Judge, I'm ready to proceed on this one. If Mr. Regier can, this is a driving while suspended. My client intends to plead guilty to first driving while suspended. And if Mr. Regier is agreeing to what we normally do on those, I'm ready to proceed.
Mr. Regier, you have not amended this, have you, to anything besides first driving while suspended?
That sounded a little bit cryptic, Mr. Patterson.
I'm seeing none.
Your Honor, I am not aware of any amended informations having been filed with the court in this case. And it is the state's understanding that count 1 is charged as a Class B misdemeanor pursuant to the ticket.
All right, so Mr. Patterson, how does your client want to plead to driving while suspended?
And Your Honor, I can't remember if the court called the case.
Oh, good point. On the record in 2024, TR 1085, State of Kansas versus Tracy Ladine Peoples. Please announce appearances.
JRegier on behalf of the state.
Your Honor, Darren Patterson appear on behalf of Tracy Peoples. Ms. Peoples does appear from Courthouse Security 1. Your Honor, previously I did have a conversation with Ms. Peoples about her case. Pursuant to that conversation, I would announce this time Ms. Peoples is going to enter a plea of guilty to that charge, driving while suspended.
Ms. Peoples, is that correct? You wish to enter a no contest plea to driving while suspended in Butler County on April 13th of 2024?
Yes, Your Honor.
By pleading no contest, do you mean you don't want to deny the charges, but you don't want to admit them and take them to trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is anyone making you enter this plea today?
No.
And Mr. Regier, as a factual basis, I see we do have the citation. Do you want to offer that?
The state would so offer, Your Honor.
And that looks like it was prepared by Master Trooper Genesis Rose of Kansas Highway Patrol on that date, April 13th, 2024. Looks like he would testify that the defendant was stopped in Butler County on the Kansas Turnpike, officially known as I-35 at mile marker 65 South. And you have certified records that her license would have been suspended at that time, counsel?
The state would so proffer, Your Honor. If the court wishes for me to go into greater detail, I certainly can.
It would be stipulated to, Your Honor.
All right. Well, based on what I have before me in the officer's statement, I find the defendant guilty. And recommendations for sentencing, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, in this case, the state is prepared to recommend the minimum fine required by law of $100 for a Class B driving while suspended. The state is further recommending the imposition of court costs while deferring to the court on the issue of attorney's fees. Besides a 6-month non-reporting probation in this matter, the state is also recommending 120 days underlying sentence.
Anything further, Mr. Patterson?
We'd ask court to adopt the recommendations, Your Honor.
And Ms. Peoples, where do you work?
I don't, I'm on disability, widow's benefits. I take care of my mother full time. She's 85 and I'm her caregiver.
And do you get paid for doing that?
No.
At this time, Ms. Peoples, you're sentenced to 120 days in the county jail that will be suspended so long as you successfully complete a 6-month non-reporting probation. You must pay $100 in fines and $108 in court costs. I will waive your attorney fees. How much time do you need to pay the 208, or can you do that today?
I can pay it like on the 3rd of March, pay it in full.
I will give you 14 days from today to have that paid in full. You
Thank
can
you, Your
stop
Honor.
by the clerk's office to find out how you can pay that, the different options. But your probation, if you don't want to serve the 120 days, again, is pay 208 in 14 days. And the other condition is do not violate any laws between now and 6 months.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. If there's nothing further, you are excused at this time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Shall we take up Curtis Walls?
Yep, bring him in.
Thank you. We are on the record in 2024 TR 744, State of Kansas versus Curtis Leon Walls.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. Gentlemen, does he have another case pending besides 744? For instance, is 235805 still pending, which was driving while suspended and not having a commercial driver's license while driving a commercial vehicle? Or has
Not
that
me.
been-
Your Honor, the state is not aware of any other open Butler County cases involving this defendant.
All right, well, when I pull up his record on Odyssey, it shows 23 TR 5805, State of Kansas versus Curtis L. Walls. And it's from an offense date of April 18th of 2023. There's no plea or disposition showing. You
One
don't
moment,
think that's you, Mr. Walls?
That's not me.
5805,
One moment, Your Honor.
thank you. Well, and then if you look at a 21, there's a failure to appear. June of 22.
Judge, does it show the dates of birth on those? Is it the same person or different or?
Well, it's, let's see, I don't even know if it shows that on Odyssey. It just shows, Jen, that doesn't show me the date of birth, does it, to confirm it's the same person?
Yes, it would.
It would show me. Can you look at that and show me, tell me where to look for that? Or do I have to call them up individually? I was just looking at the case history
Yeah.
summary.
Your Honor,
Yes.
In reviewing the public portal access, there does appear to be another case with a defendant of a similar name, 2023 TR 5805. However, based off my records, it would appear that is a Sedgwick County case.
So it is still pending in Sedgwick County? From what, isn't that what it looks like?
That would appear accurate, Your Honor, although of course, this is Butler County, so I'm not sure if that really
Well,
has.
I can't, where do you find Butler on that? Did you pull up the individual case?
I did, Your Honor, and and I'm looking at it right now, and the location indicated appears to be Sedgwick County.
Okay, and his next court date is April 19th, 23, it looks like. No, I strike that. It happened on April 18th. Well, and how about this 21 TR 16-13-9? That has a failure to appear.
And again, I just wonder if we're talking about the same person. My client has a clueless look.
Well, all I can tell you, Mr. Patterson, is they all show up under Curtis Leon Walls with the race, height, date of birth. Is he born in 1962? So I think they're all showing up under his identity.
Don't have any failures to appear.
Now that might be something to look into. In any event, I'm going to proceed with today's matter. One count of driving under the influence on March 6, 2024. Now, when we were here December 9th, he pled guilty and he was ordered to get a drug and alcohol evaluation and reappear with that as a condition of his bond for today. So, Mr. Walls, do you have an alcohol and drug evaluation completed?
No, I didn't. I didn't have the money. I've been unemployed.
No, that is a violation of your bond. Why have you been unemployed?
Because the guy I worked for just didn't have any work.
What kind of work do you do?
Asphalt work.
And who do you work for?
Well, I work for Brian Edson and Zeb Edson.
What's the name of their company?
One's Edson's Construction, the other one's Asphalt Paving and Maintenance.
Mr. Patterson, what does your client propose to do about this?
Judge, this is I guess the first hearing after he pled. Again, sounds like he's doing seasonal work so that he does not have that type of money with him right now. I could do one of the court orders for a drug and alcohol evaluation to be completed in order to get it done for a next hearing.
Let's do that, please. And can we get that done by the April 14th date?
I couldn't see there should be a problem with that, Judge.
All right, Jen, is that when you want to put it? Is April 14th?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Walls, I'm gonna let you off the hook on that violation of bond this time
I
under the
appreciate that.
circumstances. But I am ordering that as a condition of your bond, you must get that and be back here April 14th at 8 a.m. And Mr. Patterson will do some paperwork and talk to you so that you won't have this dilemma next time.
And
All right,
Judge,
thank you.
could also ask that he come across the street, fill out an intake form, just so we have all his current information.
I'm ordering
Okay.
that you do that as well. And
Do that now?
yes,
I
now,
mean, that's fine, but I'm just making sure.
you want him to come do it now, right, Mr.
I,
Patterson?
I have somebody at the front desk who can help him out.
All right. And then
All right.
I don't know if you want to maybe check out those other records on here too. Okay, you're
Right.
excused
Thank
and
you.
we're in recess. You're
Yes.
welcome. Okay, is there anyone else you need to talk to, Mr. Patterson, before, I mean, I could take up a couple pro se's if you do. Anybody here that needs to talk to their attorney, Darren Patterson?
I would like to, Your Honor. Jason Wright.
Right? How about that?
Alexis Terrell, I need to.
Mr. Patterson, are you able to talk to Jason Wright at this time?
Absolutely, Judge.
All right, let's put them in a breakout room while I take up Henman.
Christina Hinman, yes.
We are on the record in 2024 CR 446, State of Kansas versus Christina M. Hinman. JRegier for the state, the defendant Christina M. Hinman, in person and pro se. One moment while I check on a few matters. Ms. Hinman is charged in count 1 with possession of marijuana and count 2, possession with intent to use paraphernalia. Both are misdemeanors dating back to May 9th of 2024. It looks like, okay. All right, Miss Hinman, you told Chief Judge Ricky at your first appearance on December 4th of 24 that you were going to hire your counsel, and he said a $550 professional surety bond that you posted with AAA Butler County. You posted that on November 14th of 24. So after your first appearance with Judge Ricky and telling him you were hiring counsel, it looks like you failed to appear at your next appearance. Let me double check that.
I don't.
Let me double check. Okay, December 4th, you were going to hire counsel. Okay, but the May 9th was the date it allegedly happened. May 9th of 24, and for whatever reason, it took till December 4th to get you in here. And that's when you said December 4th you were hiring counsel. So did you hire your attorney like you told Chief Judge Ricky on December 4th?
It was, I don't mean to correct you, but it's Satterfield who I was in front of.
Okay,
I thought
well,
I could, but
I see Mandy Stapleford took the docket notes, and she usually works with Judge Ricky, but she could have been helping Judge Satterfield.
but I wasn't trying to, you know.
Sure. No, I appreciate that.
But anyway, I had to do emergency move because of my baby. My daughter, that's not a baby, but she's a young adult. Edwina Gibson is her name. And we had to fly and move. And that took a big chunk of my money. I called on a lawyer and there's no way I could even do half a payment and then do payments. My disability is getting on the roll, but I have another blessing, which is from my real dad, and it was military. And I just received it in December, didn't know nothing about it. So eventually, what I would like to know, if I could get a court-appointed attorney, unless I can get money going, you know, just so I can have an attorney, a counselor, because I want to get this over with.
All
I
right.
mean, I wanted it right now today, but I couldn't afford the $2,500. Well, he wants 45.
Okay, well, you fill out an application and leave it with the officer. And let me ask you some preliminary questions.
Okay.
You said do you work?
No, I am disabled. I'm disability.
Disabled?
Yeah.
Okay, and what do you make per month on your disability?
Well, it hasn't gone through because I kept saying I had money, and now I know why, because of my real dad being in the military, who I did not know any I did not know him
All right,
my whole life.
so you've never received disability payments?
Not yet, no, but it's in the process. I mean, it's been going on since 15. Well, I had a heart attack.
2015?
Yeah, 15. I had a 9-pound pre-cancer removed out of me, and then I had a heart attack, and they had to bring me back to life.
I see.
So.
All right, and what's this thing now with your real
My
dad?
real dad
commissary?
is
Is that going to give you some kind of benefits?
yes,
What
yes,
do you
and
have
that's
to do?
why. Oh, excuse me, I apologize. Sorry about that.
Are you getting any money at all from that?
No, but I got some inheritance money.
Okay, so
That
how
was
much money do you have available to you?
right at this moment. I have $100 in my savings and $5 in my checking.
And when is this inheritance money coming?
I am 9 days. I will hear something.
All right, well, fill out that application and we'll see what it brings. You make sure you fill out all the blanks, sign it, date it, don't leave it empty and give it back to one of the officers. I'm gonna set your case over to April 14th. Be back here at, I'm gonna say 8 a.m. But you fill out that application and then you call back tomorrow to find out if you have an attorney and who it is.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, and I'm gonna set that court date, like I said. So
I appreciate it.
that's all right. Did you go out and get your picture and prints taken?
Yeah, they arrested me in November.
All right, and on November 14th, you posted a $500 bond with AAA. So I'm going to continue that with the added condition that you call back. Now, if you have an attorney appointed and you're given that name and number tomorrow, I'm also ordering as a bond condition that you contact the attorney tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. If there's nothing further, Mr. Regier?
Not from the state judge.
All right, and you are released on the condition that you fill that paperwork out today and send it back with the officer today. And then call tomorrow. If we could get that back, then that would help.
Okay, I will definitely do that.
All right, and Mr. Patterson, did you get it? Did you need to talk to Alexis Terrell? I think she's the other one that said she wanted to talk to you.
All right, guys. I think I'm going to call it for tonight. I got to put on my Judge Webster glasses. I found them. I love these things. But yeah, I'm going to call it for tonight. Yeah, I really hope she is okay. A 9-pound tumor is no joke. For real. But I will go through the rest of the docket and I will see if there's any more interesting cases. And maybe we'll get together tomorrow for a day shift. We'll see. We will see. But yep, it is night time. I love you. I really do. Yes, good night. Good night. Thank you for coming. Oh my gosh, you guys are so amazing. I can't believe you're still awake. Even Ava. Look at even Ava. She's all napsy naps over there on the bed. Yep. Thank you. I love you guys so much. Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.